Hey guys, here's Louie. So on this video, you guys are going to see a little repair that I had to do in the inner quarter panel on the passenger side, the right hand side. Always remember, on a car, right hand is your passenger side. Don't matter if you're looking at it at the front or from the back. And if you're looking at the car from the front or the rear on the driver's side, is your left hand side. I just figured I threw that in. I will throw that in. Now, I had to make a repair, and I could not make a complete repair. I will show you why. But here you go. All the bracing is cut off the car. Only this square inch tubing is on the car. And it's exactly the square inch tubing I used for the white car. This did a great deal for me. It held the car nice and tight from when I dropped in the floor the last time. My welds was nice and close and tight to the inner rocker. So because it works so great for me, I am using it this time around. All right. So here is my next move. The quarter panel here needs to go bye-bye. So I will be able to install that quarter panel right here, which is a skin. All right. So I already did my measurements, and I'll be cutting where you see the type line. Now, on first gen fibers, they have a natural body line. Okay, right here going all the way down, which is really crucial. All right, myself, I don't like when I see that line bye-bye. All right, so I'm trying to keep everything looking stock. So I put my line, my tape up to this right here. All right, if I need to cut a little bit more back, I will. But right here, you also have this line. I would love to just keep the original line, leave it alone, because on the skin, it really doesn't show up that much. It's not that pronounced like the original. So I also did it because if you cut the quarter panel around here, now you got to do a lot of filler work just to give you the natural body line that's going this way. And I do not want to fill the car with a whole bunch of filler, okay? Yes, you do have to use filler. I don't care who's out there working on your car, or if it's yourself. The bottom line and the truth is you will always need a little filler, especially when you're welding on your sheet metal. As much as you try to not warp it, it gets a little warped, and there goes your filler to make it nice and straight. Now, it was not introduced to use filler. All right, it wasn't invented to fill a giant hole or something that is really warped and you're trying to sculpture the car out of it. No, always try to use the most minimum possible filler you can use. So I figured right here, I just probably have to do a little line here, if anything, and guess what? That's where the rear bumper goes. So it really doesn't have to come out perfect. Of course, you guys knowing me, I would try to make it as perfect as possible. And the reason I need to get this quarter panel off, of course, to get the new one. But before I even get the new one welded back on, I'm doing inner and outer wheelhouse on this car. Both sides. That's my left hand and that's my right hand over there. And to get better access to the inner wheelhouse, it will be inner and outer. It will be just much easier cutting the quarter panel off. Why not? I need it anyway. And just put brand new metal there, something nice and solid I could weld through. If you see the nasty job they did here, they put a skin right over. They put a 67 skin right over the 68. Right here, that's the original 68 Arrow Pontiac Arrowhead you see there. So yeah, it was a hack job. They overlapped it, and well, there it goes. rusting away. Now I did a nice patch, all right, which is not that easy of a patch, but a lot of you guys could do it. Let me zoom in if it's possible. Right here. Right there is not flat like the coupes, okay? Right here is actually a curve. Nice and a nice curve metal there. All right, and that's 3 pieces you guys see welded there, because it also goes to like a different shape, like almost an L, if you guys can imagine. All right, and I'm missing another bend, which is like a 90 bend. It looks like that piece that somebody put on the car, but it wasn't properly done. I like to do it that at the end, when she's primed and painted, you really cannot tell it was tampered with there. But I could not do it because I need to go more this way, and I can't go more this way because I need to knock this sucker out of here, that wheelhouse right there. Then I will continue with my repair. Thanks God that the driver's side here is not terrible, but I did see behind this panel, beside this, just like a bracket right here, you can hold, is a mounting. Is the bracket that gets bolted here on convertibles. All right, so I need to remove this one, but I'm first gonna finish this side completely. Then I will be moving this side on the driver's side, because behind here I saw some rot, and there's no way I'm gonna be changing all the metal that I'm changing already on the car and ignore what's going behind here. Once I finish doing that, then I continue the same process of cutting the quarter panel, removing the inner outer wheelhouse, getting the new quarter panel fitted, cut, weld, grind until you finish. You guys should know the story by now. But yeah, I believe that repair here came out excellent. I mean, you have a straight piece of metal there, then it bends in, then it comes back out, and then it goes around like this, like a half a circle into the quarter panel, back out, and that's gonna be, like I said, like a 90-degree piece of metal there that gets welded on top of the rockers. So next move here I had on my brain. Remember I mentioned that this car, I received this car basically floating around. The car was not welded to the rockers or nothing like that. All right, the only thing that was welded was these welds going down here at the post here, the A-pillar, and that lower door jamb section there, and it was actually wrong. It wasn't right. These corners here on the windshield was out of whack. Thanks God, everything is good on the measurements like I shared with you guys. Everything's on point. And going to that with the measurements that I shared with you guys in the very beginning of this build. So from an original car, it was given to me from Jonathan. All right, the Mockingbird that he's building. From this point right there, right underneath that light switch here, your door switch for the interior lights. From there, you guys can see that gray marker, to where the striker is, right here. So I removed my striker because I wanted to be 100% sure I have 44 3/4 inches, okay, right here. So what I did was I got this piece of wood and I measure that same measurement, marked it, cut it, and wood does not bend that easy. All right, and what I did was I put it under there and put it there, and check that out, she reaches perfect. So now I know that my door gap, my inner door gap here, my measurements from the inner quarter panel to the post over here, the door post, is exactly the measurement that it's supposed to be. All right, which is 44 3/4. So once I did that, because believe me, I had play up and down here. It could go, this was going forward, it was going backwards. Once I got those measurements and I made sure everything was nice and ready, I just did a quick self tapper right there, and now she won't move either back or forward. I need to fix this dog leg here, which I have it, a donation from Vinyl Village Garage, my buddy Jonathan. That will happen much later, but right now I need to focus on this quarter panel, cutting it, getting it out, cutting the outer and inner wheel well out and repairing it. And also another repair while I'm doing this and have everything out is going to be the mounting bracket here for your convertible top. Check that out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but she's not even welded to the car. The clown that did this job should get poked right where the sun don't shine. Check this out. What kind of work is that? So I need to cut the original bracket, which they use a torch, just torched it out, but they never welded it back. It has the original bracket to it. I will be cutting the spot welds on the original bracket, taking this off because this got to get off of the inner wheel or the outer wheel well first. Once I take off the original bracket that needs to be welded back to the inner quarter panel, I will weld that first because there's no way I'm going to have space to put the MIG welder and weld it to the inner quarter. Then I will fix this gap. This gap is wrong and that gap is right. Okay. So she's too wide here, of course. She's not pushed in and welded in and on the car. And that one is still like factory. So I'll get those measurements. I will share with you guys. And I'm going to go by those measurements here. And bam, it'll be fixed. I just figure a good reference point to measure will be this hole right here. All right, because they both are exactly apart from the big hole to the little hole to that hole. I did the measurements already. So I'm going to measure from that hole, from here across to the quarter panel. And the measurements that I will get, I will transfer it there and we should be squared. Well, guys, let me get to cutting. All right, guys, so far, I have here cut through this quarter panel. Remember that she was a lap weld, so I had to cut through the one that they threw over the original one. I still have a little bit to cut right there. Let's see if I could get it. Go. There you go. Now let's take a look for the first time, both of us, me and you guys out there. Let's see what's hiding underneath. So I had to use the grinder. All right, one wheel was enough to cut off this one, and also right there my air saw. So let's see how this panel looks. There you go. Lap weld. Look at this. This is still the original from factory. This one, look at how much thicker the original stuff is. That is thick. And look, when you do a lap weld, guy, that's why lap welds, I'm against it. Look at how much filler. All right, this ain't metal, this is filler. Look at how thick is that filler. The metal is only that little thin thing you see here. Look at the filler there. So that's why I had to cut the quarter panel first, because I need to get to this rust bucket right here. As you guys can see, I'm gonna have to do a little patch right there first so I could continue. And they just hold it with some rivets. They didn't even weld this one in. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Really doesn't. Been there, seen it all. When you buy yourself a classic car and you dive in this deep like I am always, you have seen it all. And this is what I mean about cutting this far back and not all the way, because I still have my body line here. All right, this panel, the skin doesn't have that body line, so I would just cut it and put it on the car, and I'll still keep my body line, and this won't be hard to fill in. All right, neither this, and like I said, your rear bumper is going behind there anyway. They ain't gonna see that. Nobody is. But always try to do things the right way. So let me get going here and start taking this out. This inner wheelhouse right here. I'm gonna be doing some patches. As you guys can see, this is really bad. All right, and over here from the accident, they actually joined a piece from one car and a piece from another car, unless they cut this to do something, but I doubt it, because I could tell that is the inner quarter panel is different from this car. So look what they did. They lapped it also. What I'm gonna do is cut this and weld it straight down. So I have a lot of work here to do, but on my next video, you guys will see the process that I take from removing this outer wheelhouse, the inner wheelhouse, and also fixing this measurement that goes from here to here. Once I cut this off, I will be able to move this more. Guys, this was a short one, but I'm just keeping you guys updated and what I need to do next on the Lovebird. I see you guys. Take care, and remember, keeping your hands dirty will keep your project going ahead. Bye bye now.